Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleach Brave Souls, and I know that a lot of you guys right now are grinding for those purple potions if you got Retsu. And even if you didn't get Retsu, maybe you will get Retsu, so it's a good idea to take advantage of the current inheritance zone. Now the current inheritance zone, it has a boosted killer damage for Soul Reapers and Hollows. So I'm going to go over the best mind characters to use in this particular inheritance zone based on that criteria. All these characters are going to have Soul Reaper or Hollow Killer abilities. With that out of the way, this is not really a top 5 list or a top 6 list or a top 10 list or something like that because I don't actually have every single mind character, obviously. So to start off, 2 characters that I don't have who aren't going to be profiled in this review are the Mind Ulquiorra and the tag team, yo boy, tag team Chojuro. These characters are both really good for inheritance zone currently, because they both have the proper killer abilities and they have pretty strong attacks. They have pretty good utility. Chojuro can paralyze on everything. Ulquiorra has a vortex. He's a ranged character. He has frenzy. So those 2 characters would be very good. I just can't show them because I don't have them. The only drawback with Ulquiorra is that he is an Arankar. So Arankars in this inheritance zone take more damage. So keep that in mind when you choose to use him. Leading off the list of characters I think are really good for the Mind Inheritance Zone, we have White Tensa Zangetsu. Now, White Tensa Zangetsu, he is pretty good. I would recommend that you build him with normal attack damage, no chap, because his strong attacks are actually very useful. And we'll talk about that in a second. White Zangetsu, he lends himself best to a normal attack damage build because of his high attack and his 6-star upgrades. But keep in mind, guys, he also has very strong, very useful strong attacks. His 3rd strong attack, it's a kind of vortex, but not really. It draws everyone in and it damages them. It's very good for crowd control, and it can proc weakening. His other 2 strong attacks are also very useful for knocking people down and just keeping them down. And they also apply weakening, or have a chance to at least. White Tensa Zangetsu has a normal attack damage 20 soul trait, which is very good for his statistics, and he can be built in a variety of different ways. So his strengths really are his normal attacks, but his strong attacks are also very useful. So this is why I recommend you build him for normal attack damage, but without a chappy, so you still have the use of your spiritual pressure. And that's one of the strengths of this character. You can build him to suit your playstyle. So if you like to use pure normal attack damage, you can do that on this character. If you like normal attack damage with a little bit of recharge for his strong attacks, you can do that as well. You can also do a hybrid. Those are all very good. The only thing I would recommend you not do on this character is a pure strong attack damage build. But as you can see by the gameplay, this character does very well in the Mind Inheritance Zone. He has great range on his normals, and his strong attacks, like I've been saying, are very good for crowd control. Now, one of the drawbacks for this character that I have to point out is that he is a normal attack damage character. And in general, guys, I find normal attack damage characters require a little bit more effort to play. You have to try hard a little bit so you don't get hit. Whereas, with strong attack damage, you just smash the strong attacks, you knock everybody down. But with normal attack damage, you have to kind of dart in and out to get swipes in on the enemy. So it is a little bit more high maintenance, but he can do the inheritance zone pretty quickly if you're willing to put in the effort. Okay, so coming in at number 3, I put Mind Shinji. Mind Shinji is a very underrated character, especially for the inheritance zone. This character is amazing, and not a lot of people use him, not a lot of people talk about him, but he has a very good moveset. Now, my recommended build for Mind Shinji is a pure strong attack damage build. Why? Because this character has a natural 25% strong attack damage soul trait, and that means if you have the proper links, you can have a full 100% increase to strong attack damage from your character links alone. This is great, guys. That's a lot of damage. On top of that, he has frenzy. So essentially what you have is a character that can, with the optimal equipment, can have 200% increased damage to his strong attacks. That is a lot, guys. And you couple that with the ×3 killer advantage in Inheritance Zone, and he's gonna one-shot any kind of hollow enemies you come across. Now, and that's not all with his strong attacks. His strong attacks, the mechanics of them are excellent. They're top tier. The 3rd strong attack, it's a full screen. It hits the full screen, so any full screen strong attack is definitely very useful in Inheritance Zone. His 2nd strong attack, it inflicts burn, and it doesn't have the widest range, but it goes out like a mile. So I mean, if you have a situation where there's a bunch of enemies lined up in like a column or something like that, you can wipe them all out with that second strong attack. And it has like I said, the chance to inflict burn. And the first strong attack is kind of basic, but it's still useful for knocking enemies down. So basically, if you like playing strong attack damage characters, Shinji is the way to go. The only problem is that you might find yourself waiting around for a strong attack if you don't have any recharge built in. And hybrid strong attack recharge, strong attack damage is another way you could go, but you don't really have to because he has a very good normal attack string as well. He has great range on his normals. If you see it on the screen here, his normal attacks, they can hit from very far away. So, even if you don't have a strong attack up at the moment, your normals are not totally useless. So basically, this character is the one you want to use if you have him and you like playing strong attack damage builds. He would also work with a recharge strong attack damage hybrid. Next up is the number 2 character on my list, and I kind of debated whether or not I should put him in this position because this character, he's classified as an Arrancar, and in this particular inheritance zone, Arrancars do take additional damage. But besides that, everything else, guys, if he wasn't an Arrancar, he would have been number 1 on my list, and that character is going to be Barrigan. Mind Barrigan is simply amazing for inheritance zone. He may not have the fastest clear times, but he's by far the safest choice you can make. If you don't want to die, pick Barrigan, basically. I mean, except for the fact that he is an Arrancar, and if you get hit, you're gonna get crushed. He does have enough positives to overcome that kind of disadvantage. The build I would recommend for Barrigan is pure recharge. Like if you have 14 recharge links, put them on there. You might want to throw on a Frenzy Yoruichi or a Frenzy Byakuya for additional damage. It definitely helps him out, but full recharge is the way to go. If you can get full recharge on him, you're gonna breeze through the inheritance zone. His killer ability is Soul Reaper, and there's lots of Soul Reapers, and you get the ×3 killer advantage in the inheritance zone as well, so that's a great thing. His soul trait, -12 recharge, natural. Guys, that's why he's so good at crowd control. He almost always will have a strong attack available to him to use if you build him with pure recharge. On top of that, he does have Frenzy, so even with full recharge links, he still does very good damage, and his strong attacks can all proc Weakening. Weakening is great, guys. Weakening makes short work of any mobs you come across. It's a good defensive proc as well because they only hit you for 1 damage. And his special, he's a pure boss killer. He can weaken the boss, and the bosses, especially in the co-op missions, they can be kind of a pain in the ass. So Weakening is a very, very good boss killer special ability to have. I really can't say enough good stuff about Barrigan. If you have Barrigan, try him out. You'll be surprised how good he is because not only does he have good strong attack recharge, he does respectable strong attack damage, but the mechanics of his strong attacks are very good as well. Especially his third one, which it's just a cone in front of him. So basically, anything in front of you will die, or will not, or if they don't die, they're going to be ready to die. The other strong attacks as well, they're very good for crowd control, and you can use them, like I keep mentioning, you can use them pretty quickly because of the natural recharge soul trait. In a nutshell, Barrigan, he knocks him down and he can keep him down. So that is why he's the safest character in my opinion, except for the fact that he takes more damage from the inheritance zone enemies. And that brings us to my #1 pick for mind characters to use in inheritance zone, and it's gotta be waifu. Christmas Rukia is my #1 pick, and that's not just because I'm biased, guys. This character is actually very strong in inheritance zone. She is a little bit more high maintenance to play because you want to be keeping her at full health, because at full health she deals additional damage. She deals 20% extra damage on everything, so that's kind of an issue. You do have to concentrate a little more, but she does have a shield which offsets that, that weakness of her. The shield, guys, is very, very useful. I mean, there's so many times where I take random clip damage or somebody will off-screen hit me, and if you have the shield up, you don't take any damage from that at all. So it's a very nice little perk that Rukia has. Other than that, she is a Soul Reaper killer, which is good for this inheritance zone. All these characters that I've been talking about will have the killer advantage on some of the enemies in the inheritance zone. And finally, she has a chance to freeze on everything, her normals, her strongs, and her special. So that freeze, guys, it cannot be understated. It's a very, very useful tool for this character to have. If I had to give her kind of a negative, it's the range on her strong attacks. They don't really have great range. But, you know, if you use the shield properly, you can safely jump into like the middle of a bunch of mobs and then just fire off the strong attack and you're all set. So, Christmas Rukia, my pick for the top mind character to use in Inheritance Zone. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't she put Bankai Kenpachi on this list? Well, guys, it's because he doesn't have the Soul Reaper killer or the Hollow killer. So I just eliminated him right off the bat because of that fact. But I'm sure he's still very strong. I do have him on an alt account and he does work pretty well. But I wouldn't say he's the best because, like I said, he doesn't have the killer advantage in this particular Inheritance Zone. And guys, he doesn't have double flash step. And double flash step, you kind of want it because there's shit flying at you from all directions in the Inheritance Zone. And, you know, if you only have one flash step, it makes you really vulnerable to taking extra damage. So that's why Bankai Kenpachi is not on here, for those reasons. So let me know what you think of this list, guys. I know I picked a lot of characters. It's pretty much every relevant mind character that has a Soul Reaper killer or a Hollow killer. But I figured that we'd talk about it anyway because it's a very relevant video currently, you know, with all the people grinding for potions to put on their Retsu. And even if you don't have Retsu, you know, maybe you want to grind for the potions anyway in case you plan on pulling for Retsu. She's going to be available in her own banner and at the end of the month as well. So do the Inheritance Zone, you know, if you have time, and use one of these characters. You won't be disappointed, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video or live stream. I'm not sure which one it'll be yet. Bye-bye.